Shalom, shalom. Bear with me, Aki Aminakwath. Let me just make sure we're all set up here. Khan. Khan, shalom, shalom, Akiyam. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kwadash. I would also like to give a double honors to the beloved elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. I would also like to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000 men of Israel, which consists of the servants, the prophets, whom have been ordained since the foundations of this earth, to sing this new song, which comes in the form of this gospel, which will be preached throughout all four corners of this earth, and rest upon the heirs of the innumerable multitude, men, women, and children of Israel, who may be scattered throughout all four corners of this earth. Shalom. Hey, shalom, beloved Aki Aminakwath. It's just Bayan back again through the spirit, power, mercy, and grace of our power, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And I just wanted to tap into a live stream, talking to current events, the madness that's going on, within Babylon the Great. I got a few videos and an article I want to share with you, beloved Aki Aminakwath, Lord willing, and marrying it the prophecy, as we always do, being that we are in prophetic times, man, as we know. We are in the time where prophecy is speaking. And ultimately, at the end of the day, prophecy is going to settle the score, with the unbelievers, these demons that are ruling the earth right now, all right, claiming to be pursuing the fourth industrial revolution, where they're going to rule forever under a technocracy, all right? Hey, 2/3 of our people, the rebellious, right? They're going to be confounded in the days we're coming into, because at the end of the day, prophecy is going to be perfected. You see, it's gonna manifest, man. And as much as individuals want to continue to deny the reality of prophecy, as we get closer and closer to the end, all right, it's speaking loud and clear, man. So now, yeah, man, as you can see the title, news, prophecy, psyops, all right, and chaos, man. Because at the end of the day, that's where it's all gonna lead to. It's all gonna lead to the chaos now. You Akiyama and Akwath are aware of the situation that took place in Minneapolis, all right, with the with old girl. Getting her head blown off for the most part, right? And what a coincidence had happened blocks away from where your boy got choked out, right? Not a coincidence, right? Nothing's a coincidence. At the end of the day, a lot of what we're seeing is fake, and Esau is trying to set up the scenario to pretty much set the tone, order out of chaos, order abkeo. This is what he's pursuing. Granted, some of the stuff we're seeing is real. There's real victims. But needless to say, Esau's setting up scenarios, man. And we're not going to give too much credit to him, because we know the Lord's working. Because at the end of the day, as much as Esau thinks he's setting up an order out of chaos scenario, at the end of the day, it's the Lord actually truly setting that up. At the end of the day, bro. So, and we're not ignorant of that. We understand that wholeheartedly. As a matter of fact, the Wadi Yahweh Bashim Yahshai for the spirit, because we know what Esau is up to. Now, real quick, when you go, let's go here. Let's go to the book of 2 Corinthians. Let's open up with this. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, right in verse 11, and it reads, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices," man. All right, and it's through the Holy Spirit how we're not blindfolded to what this nigga's doing. Let me get this in the NLT real quick. Let me see something real quick. Let's see how it hits in the NLT. 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11, NLT version, and it reads, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. Right. Those of us that have been granted access, to the divine wisdom of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, we understand and know that Esau is running the same plays from the same playbook. Okay, he's not doing anything new. All right, he's doing the same thing he's always done. The difference is we're in a time where his deception is waning. All right, and the Holy Spirit has been sent to those of the elect. All right, so now this nigga's really asked out now. All right, because you got the men of the Lord, the prophets, calling him out, right, for his fraudulent works, right? You got the and that goes as far as the two key witnesses, right, Northern and Southern Kingdom, and then there's a star witness, like Elder Yashawamba said, the heathen, bro, Evil E himself, and these other heathen bring out information on Esau, man. You see? Which goes into their tongues falling upon themselves, man. And this is the time we're in. Esau can no longer run circles around people through deception. You see? He's in a position now where he's being found. And eventually, inevitably, he's going to end up being caught. You see? So now he's desperately wiggling around, trying to stay out of the sight of the light. Right? So let me read that again. So that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes, man. Yeah, we're familiar, bro. We know how you get down. As a matter of fact, let's also get this in the Good News Bible. Let's see what the Good News Bible is talking. I'm just curious. Bear with me real quick. Second Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11, and it reads, in order to keep Satan from getting the upper hand of us, for we know what his plans are. That hit. Right, we know his plans. We know Esau's plans, bro. We know what he's conjuring up. How? Through the Holy Spirit, because we're standing on prophecy. Prophecy gives us the fine details of what Esau is going to do in the near future. Okay? Revelation 12 and 12. He's going to come down with great wrath. And how he's going to do that is what? Martial law. You see, but he's got to set the tone. He's got to set the scenario up. Right? He's got to set up variances, right? Now, real quick, I got this clip. Well, let me get this article real quick. Now, this is from Zero Hedge, right? Again, talking to the incident that took place in Minneapolis, right? Right? Apparently, there's new footage, all right, regarding what happened. And I'm going to show it, through the Spirit, right? I'm going to show it. But needless to say, the article reads, this article is from Zero Hedge. It's dated January 9th, 2026. And the title reads, new footage shows federal agents' perspective in Minneapolis ICE-involved shooting. All right? And these ICE agents have been given, great authority, man. All right? Now, this cop that did this, ICE agent that did this, he's pretty much cleared. He's been given the green light. But needless to say, this sets the tone for what we're going to see in the future, man. All right? But understand this, hey, it's going to create what? Civil unrest. Look it. There are competing narratives about Wednesday's ICE-involved shooting in Minneapolis. Some left-leaning corporate outlets focused on the fact that a woman was shot and deleted by an ICE agent during a federal enforcement deportation operation, while other media, like the New York Post, highlighted that the woman, identified as 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good is her whole name, was part of a left-wing group, okay? ICE Watch, that group is called, supposedly. This is all supposedly, right? That mounted pressure campaigns on ICE agents on the ground. All right, and this is talking to what? Job, the 21st chapter. You know, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he should be in straits. All the hand of the wicked should come upon him. See, the people are coming against this dude as he tries to push this propaganda. You know, but needless to say, this is, you know, this is old girl right here. Supposedly, you know. From face value, she looks like a what? The Edomite. Right? So what kind of tone you think they're trying to set with that? You know, a 36-year-old, 37-year-old Becky, right, with 3 kids. You know? Gets her top blown back. What type of tone you think Esau's trying to set with that? Anybody can get it at this point. Right? But look, I got this clip. Let me play this real quick. And this is fair use, fair use. I'm not making any monetary gain off of this video. This is fair use, fair use. Check this out. Let me see if I can play it like this. Bear with me. Get that out of there.
Every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car. Get out of the car. Whoa!
Yeah, and there you have it. Okay, and this is triggering all types of outrage. All right, all over the country, man. All right, because understand this, man. Civil unrest is inevitable. All right, how do we know? It's prophecy. That's how we know. And scenarios like this are what is going to lead up. All right, to that civil unrest. All right, because as Esau continues to do draconian assaults like this, what's going to happen? The people are going to react. The people are going to, with every action, there's a reaction. You see, so the people are going to react, man. Right? As scriptures tell us. These are the times we're coming into. We're coming into some deadly serious times, bro. Right? Real quick. And again, as much as Esau thinks he's controlling and setting up these scenarios, it's truly the Lord. Because at the end of the day, as much as Esau thinks he's causing the order out of chaos scenario, the Lord, again, we mentioned it, the Lord wants the chaos. You see, the Lord's bringing forth the chaos. I'll show you. Real quick, let's go back to the Good News Bible. Right? And this is the book. As a matter of fact, yeah, let's go to Good News Bible. Let's go to 2nd Ezra real quick. Let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 15. No, verse 14. And we'll read on down. And it reads, "The world and the people in it are doomed." Okay? And this is future prophecy. Right? Remember, the Apocrypha is a book of eschatology. All right, which is the study of the end time, which is one of the main reasons why they took it out. Along with the reality of these Gentiles in the New Testament you can read about in the Gospels being Israelite foreigners via that Greek captivity Hellenization period you can read about in the Apocrypha via the Maccabees. But anyways, the world and the people in it are doomed, 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. The war that will bring their destruction is very near, okay? And part of that war is civil war, right? Which is going to spill over into a third world's war. Look it. Nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. There will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government, bro. It says there will be great political turmoil, right? When you get this word, right, for edification, political goes into what? Political relates to government power and decision making in groups, encompassing ideologies like liberal, conservative, right? Systems, democracy, monarchy, policies, and the activities of governing, right? Which to govern means to control, right? Look at voting or advocating for specific societal structures and resource distribution, right? Essentially, how societies organize themselves and manage power. Examples include voting for candidates, debating laws, protesting, or shaping policies on taxes, healthcare, or international relations. And in Babylon the Great, all those areas, all that's flawed right now. All right, but anyways, reflecting differing views on freedom versus order or big government versus small, man. All right, so there's going to be great political turmoil. All right, as we just read. Let me just check this stream real quick. Bear with me, Akiyam. Make sure this didn't freeze up on me. Yep, that's looking good. All right, so back to the Good News Bible, right? It says, 2 Ezra 15 and 16, there will be great political turmoil, with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government, bro. Okay? While ignoring the legitimate government. And we're seeing that manifest now. That ICE agent told her to get out the car. She insisted on driving off, right? And then lost her top. But notice how this ICE agent is being patted on the back for what he did. As a matter of fact, not even he didn't get a slap on the wrist. No, he's getting a pat on the back. You did a good job. Now remember, this was a 37-year-old Becky from Face Value. Okay, so with 3 kids. So how much more the men of the Lord, or you so-called Negro Latinos and Native Americans, man, when things really go left? Okay, we're coming into some draconian times. All right, they're right around the corner. You know, Psyops or not, they're right around the corner, because at the end of the day, this is of the Lord, right? And we're going to show you as we continue to read, as we're reading, right? Look at, there will no longer be free access to cities, right? Shutdowns are coming, government shutdowns, right? Because the struggle for power will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion wherever people live, bro. Okay? It's going to get hectic out here. And guess what? It's the Lord that's bringing it, man. All right? And this is all part of that civil unrest that's going to break loose that the Lord's bringing. Right? Let's go here. Let's stay in the Good News Bible. Let's go here real quick. Let's go to the book of Isaiah. Right? The Lord left no stones unturned, man, regarding end-time prophecy. The book of Isaiah chapter 19 in verse the book of Isaiah chapter 19 in verse 2, but the heading, right? This heading reads, God will punish Egypt, bro. Okay? It says God will punish Egypt. Okay? Let's read, right? Jumping down to verse 2. And we know Egypt is what? America, bro. Babylon the Great. Spiritual Egypt. Revelations 11. This is spiritual Egypt. All right? Look on the back of your dollar bill, as we always say. Or you got a Memphis, right? Just like Egypt do. Right? You got all these pyramids in Vegas. Come on, man. Look at Isaiah 19 and 2, and it reads, the Lord, Yahweh, says, I will stir up civil war in Egypt and turn brother against brother and neighbor against neighbor. Let's read that one more time. Isaiah 19 and 2, and it reads, the Lord Yahweh says, I will stir up civil war in Egypt. The Lord's going to, so as much as Esau thinks, and this is why Proverbs 21 and 1 is written. As much as Esau thinks he's creating an order out of chaos event, scenario, leading up to his madness where he's victorious by bringing forth draconian laws and establishing himself. The reality is, let me see something real quick. Let me check this real quick. You saw I cut my sound off. Let me see something real quick. Bear with me, Aki. I'm just checking my sound real quick. Kinda, I got sound on my end, so I'm good. All right. Hey, let me know if you Aki Aminakwaf can hear me. Babak Basha. If one of you beloved Aki Aminakwaf on the comment book, and let me know if the audio is good. Let me see. It's good on my end. It's good on my end. Now we're gonna keep rolling. It's good on my end. But needless to say, on my end. Yeah, it's good on my end. But needless to say, yeah, man. So as I was saying, right back in the book, back in the Good News Bible, right? The book of Isaiah, chapter 19, and verse 2 again, the water. I appreciate that. Yeah, and Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Barakatah, Shabbat Shalom, to you beloved Akiyam and Akwaf on the comment board. Shalom, Shalom, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Barakatah. All right, so back in the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, and verse 2, and it reads, the Lord Yahweh says, I will stir up civil war in Egypt and turn brother against brother and neighbor against neighbor, bro. All right, and again, granted, the scenario that happened in Minneapolis, be a psyop or not, the reality looks like what? Esau on Esau, Egyptian on Egyptian. That's what the reality of the situation looks like, okay? Which is echoing prophecy. All right, how do you think these Edomites are feeling right about now? From these soccer moms, all right, to these through Edomite men out here. How do you think they feel about, what happened to old girl? And that's the spirit, because what happened to her, that's been happening to niggas for hundreds of years, man. All right, clearly Deuteronomy 30:7 is resting upon them. Psyop or not, hey, it looks like that's what it looks like. You see, and that's just the reality of the situation. At the end of the day, this is a story, a situation, an event that took place that's gonna lead up to this civil unrest we're reading about right here. It's gonna lead up to it, man, and it's what the Lord wants. Again, even though Esau thinks he's setting this thing up to work in his favor, no, man, the Lord's puppetizing you to do what he needs you to do, to bring forth what he needs to bring forth, man, to remove you. Okay? Let me see, do I want any more here? Yep. Continuing on, rival cities will fight each other, and rival kings will struggle for power. Okay? This is gonna pop out. It's gonna come into its perfection, man. There's a little bit more. I am going to frustrate the plans of the Egyptians and destroy their morale. They will ask their idols to help them, and they will go and consult mediums, as they always done, and ask the spirits of the dead for advice, Mo. But it'll be to no prevail. Right? As Isaiah 47 says, he's gonna try to tap into his, monthly prognosticators, right? His stargazers, right? But they're all gonna be destroyed together with him. Is what's gonna be the end game for him for that. You see? But yeah, man, hey, this situation that took place in Minneapolis, man, hey, you better believe, hey, this sparked some nerves. This, you know what I'm saying? This sparked some nerves for sure. All right, and we, hey, again, we understand that Esau's moving in some psychological operation shit. You know, we know. You know, at the end of the day, prophecies, the end all be all. Prophecy is speaking. You see, that's the point. All right, let me see something real quick. Because I had that article, I had gotten that video from that article. Let me see if there was anything else in that article. I think that was pretty much the point. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the video again. Check it out. And again, fair use, fair use. This is for educational purposes only. I'm not making any monetary gain off of this clip. Again, this is new footage of that Minneapolis shooting with the ICE agent and that 37-year-old Becky, right?
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you. Show your face. I'm not mad at you. It's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking president. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car. Get out of the car. Whoa!
There you go. And if I'm not mistaken, he called her a female dog. If I'm not tripping, he called her a female dog after that. After he took her head with her, took her head with him. You know, but yeah, man, this is how it's looking right now, man. And as a matter of fact, let me get this other clip I had. And I seen this last night. This is from Redacted, real quick. Check this out. Anything else in the article? Slovakia. I think that was. Now this is from Redacted, real quick. Check this out. Now check out how this guest they had on their show was talking about the scenario. Check this out. Looks like it's this one. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Let me see. Let me bring this. Go about. I'm just gonna jump in there with it. Hey, and this is fair use, fair use. I'm not making any monetary gain off of this clip. I do this for educational purposes only. Fair use, fair use. Let me just turn up this brightness as well. Turn up this volume.
The Constitution than just about anybody. So
yeah. So okay, people are.
Oh, Salakia, forgive me.
This is one of the main narratives I wanted to ask you, that, you know, you don't have to get out of your car when ICE approaches you. They didn't have jurisdiction. They can't order you. Is that true?
No.
Oh, you're laughing. Okay.
No, it's insane. This ICE agent is completely 100% off the hook. He did absolutely nothing wrong. And there were two bases for this. First of all, I love the way lay people start opining. They just start saying, well, you know, I think that he should. No. First question is, what does the law say? I don't care about your opinion. Two statutes. Title 18, Section 111. You are interfering with a federal officer. By the way, they've got cases where somebody one time shook a fist at a probation officer, and that was considered violating the rule. What this woman did, as sad as it is, nobody likes to see anybody killed or die for any reason, basically took on a federal agent in violation of the federal statute. Period. End of discussion. Nothing. There's no, well, maybe she didn't, maybe she was trying to get away. Get away. Criminals get away. It's called flight. I love when they say that, well, she was just trying to get away.
like an escape. What are you talking about? Like OJ in the slow speed chase. What are you talking about trying to get away? That's number one. Here's the best one. A Supreme Court case, all of you constitutional
Well, hold on, Lionel. You said a criminal trying to get away. I just want to be clear on that. So you know,
yeah,
like
she's
OJ.
a criminal.
So how do we know? Just I'm asking as a
In this instance,
dumb person. How is she a criminal?
Because she's violating, she's threatening or assaulting a federal authority, a federal officer. I don't care why, if it's a protest or whatever. She is there doing this stuff, and people will be able to talk about her behavior during the day. She was there to obstruct and oppose federal authority. She is a criminal. Period. She broke the law. You don't do that. People think, I don't know what they think ICE agents are. Let's say FBI, ATF, same thing. I don't know where people get off by virtue of minimizing their impact. She was a criminal. She broke the law. Now you can say, well, no, she was protesting. Fine. She was a protesting criminal. I'm not saying this because I'm happy. She broke the law. And let me tell you too, if you go up to anybody, a federal officer in particular, anybody in the entire gamut of the federal family of officers, and you obstruct, oppose, threaten, you don't even have to touch them. Now, you can talk about the angles. Enjoy yourself with these Zapruder angle film. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But here's the best one. This is the best one. Tennessee against Gardner, Supreme Court case, 1985. A federal officer or a police officer can use deadly force to stop somebody who is in the middle of or is in the process of committing a violent felony and is about to go off and do what? Where was she going to go next with her truck? Where was she going to go next? What was she doing? I love the way they're asking. Well, she wasn't clearly anything. So not only was it legal for them to use deadly force against her for attacking these officers, they could have used deadly force to stop her from advancing and posing a real threat to others. Now, let me explain something to you. And I don't mean to talk to you like that because you're my friends, but to the rest of the world, let me explain something to you. When I see these videos and they slow them down, Clayton, do you ever see these self-defense things on YouTube? Here's how you stop. I can fight anybody if I can go like that, but
Right.
life's not like that. These 3 shots were like in a millisecond. And they said, why did he shoot so much?
Yes, excessive force. That's what people are saying.
It better be excessive. You have to use deadly force. You have to empty. I'm surprised he only did that. But anyway, so on 2 separate occasions, the law clearly is in favor or benefits this officer or supports this ICE agent. They are not going to be charged by the federal government. They are not going to be charged by the DOJ, and Minnesota is not going to do it either. And if they try to, the federal government will come in and remove the case. This ain't George Floyd. This is not somebody with that, we can argue that, with a neck, the leg on the neck. This was absolutely tragic. This is a lesson.
And real quick, and that's the spirit how he brought up George Floyd. All right, because that happened not too far from where George Floyd was choked out by old boy. We mentioned it when we first opened up. Okay, so that's not a coincidence, man. All right, which leans towards this being possibly a psyop. But at the end of the day, all the pieces are being placed where they need to be. Okay, regardless of psyop or not. All right, this is the Lord's movie. All right, and Natalie and Clinton were like, damn, we should have never brought this nigga on the show. God damn. He's completely with the ICE agent. And as far as we're concerned, the men of the Lord and you believers, we're just telling telling it how it is, man. At the end of the day, we already know how Esau gets down. We already know Esau's wickedness, his bloodthirst, and his violent ways. All right, and as a matter of fact, when you go to the book of Romans, Scripture says he doesn't bear the sword in vain. Right? Real quick. When you go to the book of Romans, chapter 13, let's get this real quick. Right, the book of Romans, chapter 13, and verse 1, and it reads, let every soul be subject unto the higher powers. For there is no, now the higher powers are considered what? These agents, cops, judges, these officials that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai has ordained and placed in their position. But check this out. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers. For there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Listen to this. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of power, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation, man. Hence, why she lost her head. Okay, because she lacked the wisdom of the Lord. You see? Not understanding that, hey, agree with thy adversary quickly, bro. As it tells us in the Apocrypha, man. Or you gonna see that. Matter of fact, we're gonna go get that after this. You gotta agree with your adversary, and that's why Yahweh Shai gave us the heads up on these niggas, man. And we have to agree with them quickly, man. You end up in jail before the magistrate. Look it. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. And the Lord rendered evil to evil to us. What he did. Will thou not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. For he, who? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, man. Okay? For he is the minister, which a minister goes into a servant, okay, of power, to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid, for he beareth not the sword in vain. And this is how we know we talking about Esau here. This is how we know this is talking about evil E. Because who was blessed with the sword back in Genesis 27? Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, bro. That's his blessing, man. That's why it's highlighting this here. Okay? It's highlighting it. All right? For he beareth not the sword in vain. Evil E will delete you. And we're going to go get that precept in the Apocrypha. Look at, for he is the minister of power, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. Let me go get this real quick. Forgot where it's at. But I can word it. Bear with me. There it goes. The book of Ecclesiastes, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 9 and verse 13, it reads, keep thee far from the man that hath power to kill. We were just reading about the man that has the power to kill, evil E. That's why he was blessed with the sword. Didn't Isaac tell him that he'll live by it? Yeah, he did. He told him, you will live by this sword, man. You see? See, evil E's been given the ability to deceive. He's been given the expertise on how to delete. Okay? This is why he's a master at biowarfare. And, look what he did to Gad. Look what he did to us Gadites, bro. He gave us certain fabrics and, certain objects and stuff to contaminate us on purpose, when we would trade with him. You see? He knew what he was doing when he was doing that. Here it is. He was acting like he was being kind to us, probably giving us gifts or trading with us and giving us some blankets. And we wound up damn near incapacitated, man. Because he knew he was spreading viral infections and bacteria on those blankets, man. Shit he brought over here from Europe. Esau knew what he was doing, man. You see? Look, keep thee far from the man that hath power to kill. So shalt thou not doubt the fear of death. Why? Because he bears not the sword in vain. He will squeeze on you, man. Okay? Or stab on you, or poison you. Okay? All right, look. And if thou come unto him, make no foe. Don't make no mistake. Why? Lest he take away thy life presently, right? He'll take your life away presently, man. He'll take you out. All right? Look, understand, Esau He loves blood. All right, the scriptures tell us how much he loves blood. That's why blood's gonna pursue him. You see? He loves blood, man. Look, let's continue on. Look it. Remember that thou goest in the midst of snares, which is a trap, and thou walkest upon the battlements of the city. And that's Babylon the Great. This is the battlement of the city. Listen, we're POWs, man. We're prisoners of war. We're behind enemy lines. You see? And Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the Wadi Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, because he's granted us access to know and understand this. And now we operate in wisdom around this demon. We know how to move around him. We know how to yikwab him. We know we get pulled over. We know how to just boom, yes sir, boom, yeah, boom, ba ba, boom, ba 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 ba. You know? Before you know it, we're driving down the street. With or without a ticket, man. You know? And there goes the sirens. You see that? All right. These niggas are deadly, man. Evil E's a deadly dude. All right? He will put you in the grave, man. Let's go ahead. Okay, yeah, and that's pretty much it on that clip, right? And that's pretty much it for that, switching gears. Now, what I wanted to do real quick is I wanted to, still sticking to the talking point of Evil E. You know that. You know he's the talking point. But needless to say, switching gears regarding, what went down in Venezuela, ultimately, which is another form of, Psyop that Esau's pushing, right? But it taps into his thievery, and his wickedness, man. Now, real quick, I came across this clip of your boy Trump talking reckless, man. As he always does. You Aki Amenakwath already know. Right? And this is no coincidence, man. And this man is a thief, Evil E. So, hey, we already know what they did over there in Venezuela. What did they do? They drew up a boogeyman, right? In the form of Maduro. Started blowing up fishermen and their sons, uncles, and nephews fishing. You know what I'm saying? Coining them, drug lords, trafficking. Painted the scenario. Had all type of footage. All types of video, so-called. Remember Esau's using CGI technology. Remember that. But needless to say, utilize all the, all the rhetoric, all the, everything. He drew it all up, just so he can execute, right? And be justified in what he do and what he did. Okay? And now they got him in federal prison, getting ready to get charged up, for some charges that they just putting on him, But this is how the devil operates. Check this out. This is fair use, right? I'm not making any monetary gain, right, off of this video. This is for educational purposes only. Fair use.
We're going to discuss how these great American companies can help rapidly rebuild Venezuela's dilapidated oil industry and bring millions of... So we're going to discuss how these great American companies can help rapidly rebuild Venezuela's dilapidated oil industry and bring millions of barrels of oil production to benefit the United States, the people of Venezuela, and the entire world. And yesterday, the number is 30 million barrels. I can't even, is that a correct number? 30 million barrels. You hear that, Peter? Of oil was given to us by Venezuela. That's a lot of oil. It's about 4.
And notice how he said it was given to them. He said it was given to us by Venezuela. Now, Venezuela sitting on 303 billion barrels of oil. You see? And they're saying that, that Venezuela had given them that oil. No, he just went over there and kidnapped their president, all right, and put his foot on the neck of the people over there. But they just gave it to you, though. No, man. This man went over there and stole that oil. He demanded it, and he also intercepted the tanker that belonged to Russia. They tried to throw flags. They tried to paint flags of Russia on the thing. They still intercepted it, man. Okay? And this is all part of the war games. You know, you already know the war games that's going to lead up to the Third World's War. You know, the scriptures highlight the reality of the rumors. Matter of fact, let me go get that real quick. We'll go back to the article. Video, rather. We'll go back to that video. Let me just get this precept real quick. Because this is what is, you know, we already know. This is what it's leading up to. There's going to be rumors of war. You know, we understand that, you know, two main prophecies have to come to pass before that happens. Right? First and foremost, Jacob's trouble, right? And the charagma. Right, let's go get this real quick. Bear with me. There's the book of Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 46, and it reads, "Unless your heart faint, and ye fear for the rumor that should be heard in the land, a rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that, in another year, shall come a rumor, and violence in the land, ruler against ruler." Now, when you get this word rumor for edification, bear with me. It goes into report, right? Bear with me. Jeremiah 51. Oh, it's an NL. Let me read it in the NLT first. Right? This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 46 in the NLT. "But do not panic, don't be afraid. When you hear the first rumor of approaching forces, for rumors will keep coming year by year. Violence will erupt in the land as the leaders fight against each other," bro. Heavy. Right? Because again, we know this thing's going to go from civil unrest, right, to a third world war. That's how this thing's going to pop off. Violence is going to overtake this land. As it tells us in Revelations 18, this is the reality of end-time prophecy regarding Babylon the Great. Right? So let's go back to the KJV and get this word rumor, right, for edification real quick. Right? Jeremiah 51 and verse 46. Right? Bear with me, Akiyam and Aqua. Bear with me.
Strong's H 8052. Shemuah. Shemuah. And second entry, Shema'ah. Shema'ah. And third entry, Shema'ah. Shema'ah.
All right. Bear with me. So it's Shema wa Iwa. Let's see here. And it goes into rumor. I'm sorry, yeah, rumor, report, news, okay, tidings, mention. All right, who's making mention of these wars and skirmishes and situations going on all throughout all four corners of this earth, bro? That are going to lead to the Third World War, right? Who's bringing forth this news and reporting on it via marrying it with biblical prophecy, though? The men of the Lord, man. Point blank, period. That's the reality of what's going down, right? Look at when you get this in the Charles D lexicon, it's a message, right? Tiding. It says especially a message sent from God, bro. Okay, this is the reality, man. You see that? And we're letting you know through the Spirit that war is coming, man. All right, so there's gonna be a rumor of war, right? 1 year, and after that another year. All right, shall come a rumor and violence in the land, ruler against ruler. So, as it says in Habakkuk the 2nd chapter, the vision, right, is yet for an appointed time. You see, so these prophecies are gonna hit, all right, chronologically when their time is fulfilled for them to. That's how this thing's gonna pop off, bro. There's gonna be events leading up to the prophecy to the prophecy manifesting to its perfection. It's gonna be a build up. See, these prophecies are gonna build up. You know, as we see tensions building up in Western Asia. You know, as we see, tensions build up over here in the West. You know, with these people. You know, seeing the reality of them. You know, these Edomites have been duped by their predecessors, man. You know, they're fully aware of the reality of the as they call them, the deep state, right? The secret society, right? And the pretty much hijacked them from the blessing. But anyways, let's go back here. Let's go back to that video. So yeah, man, this is gonna lead to the Third World War, what we're witnessing, man. Because this didn't look good for Trump. What he did in Venezuela not only did it make them look like bullies, bro, but it made them look like the thieves that they are. Is what it did. Let me bring this back. And they broke international rules, bro. But guess what? Nero's on the scene, the king. Right? Bring that back a little bit. Let's run it.
Number 30 million barrels. You hear that, Peter? Of oil was given to us by Venezuela. That's a lot of oil. It's about $4 billion worth, and it's on its way to the United States right now. And we want to thank Venezuela for that. And we're working very well with them, obviously, or they wouldn't have been so generous. But they respect us again. They didn't respect us at all before. So that's money that goes to the United States. Some will go to Venezuela. And some will go to the oil companies, but not that, because that's already been extracted. So when you're not getting any of that, but when you start extracting, you'll get. But it's tremendous reserves, among the biggest in the world. Some people say it is the biggest in the world. And we're going to be working with Venezuela. We're going to be making the decision as to which oil companies are going to go in, that we're going to allow to go in. Going to cut a deal with the companies. We'll probably do that today or very shortly thereafter with Chris and Doug. And we're dealing with the country, so we're empowered to make that deal. And you have total safety, total security. One of the reasons you couldn't go in is you had no guarantees, you had no security, but now you have total security.
And that's the spirit. What scriptures say about that? You heard what he's saying to the Venezuelans? You see? Talking to the oil extractors as well, you will have peace and security going in there. But we know 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them, man. All right? Now, mind you, this is stolen property, man. He's boasting in.
A whole different Venezuela, and Venezuela is going to be very successful, and the people of the United States are going to be big beneficiaries because we're going to be extracting, numbers of, in terms of oil, like, few people have ever seen, actually. So
You're dealing with us directly. You're not dealing with Venezuela at all. We don't want you to deal with Venezuela. Let me thank Vice President J.D. Vance, who's doing a fantastic job. Secretary of State.
So what we witnessed, man, over there in Central America was a repeat, all right, of what Esau always done, bro. And the scriptures highlight this guy's behavior. Let's go here real quick. Now I want to get this in the Good News Bible, right? This is the book. This is the book of Micah. Chapter 2, right? Starting from the top, and this is in the GMB. All right, the heading reads, the fate of those, right, that oppress the poor. The fate of those that oppress the poor. And we know the oppressor is evil E, first and foremost, in the form of the global elite, right? And the rest of these heathen that are joined unto him. But first and foremost, evil E, right? Check this out. Micah 2:1, and it reads, how terrible it will be for those who lie awake and plan evil, man. All right, and this is the Esau's council does this, the council of the wicked, that dark council, the elite, right? They plan evil, bro. Okay, Proverbs 4, let me just go get that real quick through the spirit. Let's show you that that's talking to the wicked, which is evil E. This is what they do. They stay up late at night, plotting how to do evil. The book of Proverbs, chapter 4 and verse 14, it reads, man, if I'm going to go straight to the point, verse 16, and it reads, for they sleep not, except they have done mischief. Who? The wicked. When you read verse 14, let me read first verse 14. Proverbs 4 and 14, it reads, 144, Kala Yahbashim Yoshai. It reads, enter not into the path of the wicked, bro. Okay? And go not in the way of evil men. You see? We always highlight it, and we will continue to until there's no breath in our lungs. Malachi 1 and 4 coins evil E, Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, woman, and child as the border of wickedness. All right? This is talking to the wicked, evil E. Okay? This is the wicked this is talking to. So when we jump down, these are those evil men. All right, when we jump down to verse 16, you see it on display, real time. You seen that video? You just seen how this dude's talking about the stolen goods he took from old boy after kidnapping him? All right? Listen, for they sleep not, except they have done mischief. And their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. Okay, so evil E, how he's wired to do evil and nothing but evil. So help him Yahweh B'Ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? He lives for it. Why do you think he loves the hunt? For game. He has no remorse for various animals he's just blickying. You know, just to dress them up in his house. In the form of their head or their skin, right? As a carpet. Think about it. Right? And that's just the tip of the iceberg, man. I was just an example. This man has done things, man. My goodness, bro. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence, bro. Okay? They drink blood is what they do. Okay? They have a long track record and history of doing it. You see? And their violence and their wickedness has stretched throughout all four corners of the earth. All right, Revelation 6 and 4 tells us how this man moves, man. All right, this man, he took peace from the earth. You see, evil E has taken peace from the earth. He's built and equipped to do it. We're in his eon. We're in Esau's eon. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man. We're in the final seconds of evil E's dark, damp, gloomy, perverse, uncontrolled, no order, perverse world. Okay? Final seconds. Right? Let's continue on. Look it. But a matter of fact, I'm going to leave that right there. Let's jump back to Micah. Right? The book of Micah. Matter of fact, Salaki, I was in the Good News Bible. Let me jump out of that tab. All right, so back in the book of Micah. Right? The book of Micah chapter 2 and verse 1 again. Let's start from the top. And this is in the Good News Bible. All right? How terrible it will be for those who lie awake and plan evil. Now we know who that is, pursuing the Proverbs 4 and 16. When morning comes, as soon as they have the chance, they do the evil that they plan, man. Okay? Esau meets up in these various think tanks. All right? Planning and plotting. And next you know, you see him executed on the world stage. And this was one of those events. Right? And they through process of time, right? As dressing Venezuela up as a uncontrolled government, and, you know, the president's corrupt and X, Y, and Z, that granted him access, you know, after playing on the minds of the people long enough to go do his thing. All right? Highway robbery. Right, look it. When they want fields, they seize them. This is Micah 2 and 2 in the Good News Bible. Right? When they want fields, they seize them. To seize something means to take it. Again, look what he did to us Gadites, bro. Come on, man. Come on, man. Yeah, and that's the example we would always use. Look it. When they want houses, they take them. No one's family or property is safe, bro. Okay, this is the scenario we're all living in right now with this nigga ruling. This is what it says in Micah 2 and 2 in the Good News Bible. Let's read it again from the top. When they want fields, they seize them. When they want houses, they take them. And then call them after their own name, right? The lands. Look at, no one's family or property is safe. Okay, dealing with this guy. All right? Because who will trust a thief? What's the scripture say? Who will trust a thief? Well, let me go get that real quick. And then we'll come back to Micah and close out if the Spirit allows. Who will trust a thief? I know it's in the Apocrypha. What's that, Sirach? Let me see if I can find that. Is that Sirach 20? Let me see something. Maybe that's Sirach 26, I think. At the bottom. I think. If not, we'll search it up. No, bear with me. I know it's in Sirach. Could have sworn it was in 26. I know I'm close. 36. Kala Yamla Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. 36, not 26. Forgive me, Aki Yamanakwa. Can't remember all the precepts. We try. The Lord granted us access to a lot of them, but not all of them. Right? The book of Ecclesiastes is also known as the book of Sirach. It's verse 26. That's why I thought that, right? The book of Ecclesiastes is also known as the book of Sirach. Right? Chapter 36 in verse 26. And it reads, who will trust a thief well appointed that skippeth from city to city? So who will believe a man that hath no house and lodgeth wheresoever the night taketh him, bro? All right, that's a dangerous dude. You can't track him down. You can't trace and track him. Right? This nigga's been going from city to city. Dead, stealing, lying. Okay? You know he been deleting. Getting out of certain skirmishes. Okay? You a fool to trust this man. But you Jake do. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Americans, you trust this guy. Out of your mind. What I want to do through the Spirit, though, before we go back to that Micah 2 and 3 in the Good News Bible, what I want to do through the Spirit is I want to get that Sirach 36 and 26 in the Good News Bible. Let's see what that says. And it reads, people have no more trust in a homeless person who sleeps in different places every night than they have in a wandering thief who goes from town to town. Nah, KJV's better. We'll leave it where it's at. Anyways, back in the book of Micah, chapter 2, and verse 3, and it reads, and so the Lord Yahweh says, I am planning to bring disaster on you, and you will not be able to escape it, bro. This is what the Lord has planned for Evil E, the wicked. Look, you are going to find yourselves in trouble, and then you will not walk so proudly anymore, bro. You see that? So, hey, man, hey, at the end of the day, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai has Esau's number, bro. You know, he has his number. And this man's not going to escape. He's not going to flee off into the sunset, right? And pursue this diabolical fourth industrial revolution. It's not going to happen, bro. All right? Why? Because prophecy is going to run him down. At the end of the day, prophecy is going to run this dude down, bro. Evil E has bounds he cannot pass, bro. And he's living out his short time left. You know, this is why he's moving in such a fanatical way. You see? Out of course, you know, sloppy. And just at this point, showing his horns and not giving a damn. All right? Because he has no more time to play. He has no more time to waste, bro. You see? He has but a short time, bro. He knows. What's that? Revelations 12 and 12. He's running out of time, and he knows it. All right? So, hey, you already know, beloved Akiyam and Akwath, a news prophecy, Psyops, and chaos. Because at the end of the day, what comes out of all this madness that Esau's trying to pitch is his demise, man. That's the reality, bro. That's the reality, man. So, yeah, man, stay prayed up, beloved Akiyam and Akwath. Hey, Lord willing, you were edified. Hey, Lord willing, you were spiritually fed. Nabaratazah, you were informed through the spirit, power, mercy, and grace of our power. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Kodash. A double honors to the beloved elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. Hey, till next time, beloved Akiyam and Akwath. Shalom.